Wildcat Gun Machine is a spaced-out cartoony, bullet-hell dungeon crawler where you take on large hordes of flaming skulls, disgusting space slugs, and fleshy hell beasts. You play as an unnamed hero. Let's call her Wildcat, or Sergeant Wildcat. Armed with an arsenal of futuristic weapons, giant mech robots, and some cute kittens. In some ways, Wildcat Gun Machine felt a bit like a slower version of Enter the Gungeon. And by slower I don't mean easier. In Enter the Gungeon, players are able to infinitely dodge roll their way through rooms while taking out enemies. Wildcat Gun Machine's dash ability must be unlocked, and has a lengthy cooldown period, which can be shortened for the right amount of bones or space currency. Instead, you must tactically maneuver through waves of floating bullets as you recharge your dash. Wildcat Gun Machine tests the player's skills in both timing and patience. Unleash an ungodly assault while moving strategically from room to room. It's not just about using your weapons, but also your surroundings. You can hide behind crates and items before they're obliterated, or time explosives to detonate at the perfect moment to do the most damage. Clearing rooms is slightly easier than the insanely tough boss fights. Those are where the true bullet hell confrontations take place. The screen becomes littered with floating, moving projectiles. Basic rooms are a little more under control, since enemies usually spawn in waves, although the more you play, the more intense those waves get. In Wildcat Gun Machine, maps play more like a Metroidvania, where you can see, but not access the entire map at once. As you progress, you unlock new rooms and doors, and discover useful shortcuts. Doors are color-coded to match keys in each level. A long winding path from point A to point B can be shortened by a different color key later on. There are so many weapons to unlock. Your loadout includes a primary, special weapon, grenade, and your gun machine, of course. I've only collected a few items so far, but the menu's interface seems to have room for a whole armory of weapons. Every primary weapon is paired with a unique special weapon. However, the fun starts when you mix and match, trying to create the perfect combo. Different combos can be utilized to take out different bosses and opponents. I initially thought of Wildcat Gun Machine as a shorter game only consisting of the one main biome. After collecting each key and defeating every boss, I thought it was time for the one main boss. I was wrong. After finally defeating this main boss, I realized that I had just moved into another biome, starting a new journey of gathering keys, opening doors, and defeating more bosses and monsters. Although short gaming experiences can be neat at times and even replayed, I was happy to learn that there was more to this game than I had initially imagined. These are some tough boss fights. In certain games, once you finally defeat a difficult boss fight, you're able to learn their cadence and use that against them the next time around. That's not the case in Wildcat Gun Machine. Anytime I beat a boss, it felt more like I got lucky, rather than I had learned any useful tips. I would have liked to see the team utilize the rumble feature on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not sure if it's available on other consoles. It was hard to tell when I had in fact taken damage versus when I had dodged or had near miss during an enemy fight. Many times in boss fights I thought my health was way higher than it was. I would unexpectedly die and realize I had been hit many times. Even some kind of visual cue would be helpful, maybe some flashing lights. Instead, I learned to check my health continuously throughout fights, which actually distracted me from the hundreds of floating projectiles on screen. The music in Wildcat Gun Machine was created by Go Don't Go. I'd never heard of him before, but I do appreciate the name. Also, the music is very fitting for fighting flesh beasts in outer space. It's like space dubstep meets monster fighting music. While the music can become repetitive, I do like that it changes by getting more intense during combat, but also each biome has its own little soundtrack. At times, twin-stick games don't really work in handheld mode on the Switch. Although I much prefer playing Wildcat Gun Machine on my TV with my Pro Controller, it still plays fine in handheld mode. I did have all 4 of my Joy-Con repaired recently for drift. If you're experiencing mad Joy-Con drift, I'd recommend sending them in. It's free and quick. Truly enjoyed Wildcat Gun Machine so far, and I plan to continue my Wildcat journey and hopefully beat this game. I at least hope to find all of the weapons and figure out the best combination. What may take me away from this game is the difficulty. I'm sure with each new biome, the number of opponents and flying bullets will increase exponentially. That's okay with me though. Sergeant Wildcat is ready to bring the fight.